Welcome to our channel everyone. My name is Aman. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. In today's video, we're going to speak about the International Mobility Program, in which an employer in Canada, they can hire an international foreign worker without the requirement of an LMIA. So that international foreign worker does not need to be outside Canada. They can be outside Canada or they can be in Canada as well, maybe on an open work permit. So that's a flexibility there as well. The reason we are making this video is that a lot of people, after watching our other business videos, which is startup or investment opportunities video, they're asking about this international mobility program because it's not a very clear information on Canada's.ca website, and a lot of people are confused on who is eligible for this program and how this program works. So in today's video, we are going to speak the process, the requirements of this process, and who's going to be able to apply and how. Okay, so let's start. Any program which is going to be initiated by the Canadian government for immigration, it's going to have some requirements which the employers have to fulfill and some of them the employees have to fulfill. So to start with, let's check the requirements which the employers have to fulfill first. So first of all, any employer who wants to take advantage of the International Mobility Program, they need to make sure that they have created a profile on the employer portal created by the federal government of Canada. When they do that, the government actually makes sure that the business is real, the employer is real, they've been paying taxes, they are capable of paying their employees, and then only they will issue them a employee number. Using that employee number, anybody who wants to hire somebody under the International Mobility Program, they are going to have to create a job offer through that employer portal to the person they want to hire. So before they want to make a job offer, they want to make sure that the person they are hiring meets the requirements of the job. They are qualified with their education and experience, and in certain situations there are going to be language requirements as well, but that's not a mandatory requirement. Then the employer must pay a compliance fees of $230,000 per employee they want to hire. So if you look at this point and the difference between this International Mobility Program and the LMIA, if you are doing an LMIA application for one employee, you need to pay $1,000 per person. So that's a huge saving between $1,000 and $230 per person. But later in the video, you will realize who are the people who will be eligible under this program, because not everybody is going to be eligible. So once the employer pays the compliance fees and they make an offer on the employer portal, that goes to the federal government of Canada. They're going to review it, and if they approve, they are going to give the authorization number to the employer so the employer can give it to the employee. But when the employer makes the offer through the employer portal, the offer must have the employer's business information. It must have the foreign workers information which the employer wants to hire. It must have the job detail, and it must have all the wages and benefits which are going to be a part and parcel of the job. So all of that information need to go into the employer portal's offer, which the employer is going to make for the employee. All right, so now move on to the employee requirements. When the employer gets the authorization from the federal government and give it to the employee must use that authorization and apply for an work permit through the IRCC portals. It can be done online, and when we do the applications, there is no requirement of LMIA, no requirements for IELTS, no age limit, and no high level of education requirements. So these are four very important things, because when under any other immigration stream, these four things becomes really important, because those are usually points based system, and all of these things, they increase the points. But in this situation, the LMIA is not required, because this is going to be jobs which are going to benefit Canada. There is no age limit, because for certain jobs obviously there is no requirement for age. And IELTS is something which I want to emphasize a little bit more on. Even though IELTS is not a requirement under this program, but I always suggest my clients to always do an IELTS exam. The reason is that when you come to Canada to do any kind of work and you have a work permit, when you come to the border service agents, they have the authority to deny you entry if they feel that you do not have the right language skills to perform the job you're here to do. So in that situation, you will be in a very bad spot unless you have a good IELTS results which you can present as an evidence that yes, you have the capabilities and you have the language skills. Okay, so it's always better to just write an IELTS exam and check the minimum requirements for the job, or the minimum requirement for that position. All right, so if for example, if you're coming to work as in a skilled trades, your job IELTS requirement is CLB5. But if your job is something like a knock 0 or knock A job, then your IELTS requirements are going to be much higher. So you got to make sure of that as well. This is going to save you a lot of trouble in a situation if a border service agent feels that you're not able to speak or write English as per the requirements of the job. The other wonderful thing about the process on the employee side is that it's only going to take 2 weeks to get your processing of the work permit. So once you apply for the work permit, and if your medical and other police clearance, depending upon where you are from, if all of those documents are already uploaded along with your application, it's not going to take very long time. So it's much speedy process versus the LMIA, which usually takes about 2 months to get the LMIA approved, and maybe about anything between 1 to 3 months to get a work permit approved. Now we spoke about the requirements for both the employer and the employee side. Now this is an interesting exemption which is going to even make this process better. So for employers who are willing to hire somebody who has an open work permit, they can do it without paying the $230 fees and without making the job offer from the employee portal. So that's interesting because it's going to save the employer money, and it's also going to save them time for the process. The reason here is that when somebody is already here in Canada with an open work permit, then I would say the IRCC already have their information, so they do not have to do that long vetting process. And if they're already here, you just need to give them a job offer and get them to start working. Now let's speak about the most interesting thing and the most important thing, that who is actually eligible to apply into this program. As I mentioned previously, not everybody is going to be eligible. So in this situation, the first category is the trade agreements Canada has with other countries. For example, Canada has a trade agreement with America and Mexico, which used to be called NAFTA. Now it's called Cusma, Canadian, United States and Mexico Agreement. So anybody who is in Mexico or in America can benefit through this program, which is International Mobility Program, provided they have an employer who wants to hire them. So these jobs are going to be LMIA exempt. We have multiple clients from Mexico who have got jobs in Canada through this program, and they do not have to get any LMIAs. The other agreement Canada has, which is of the similar conditions, is the Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement, which is called CETA. This is an agreement between Canada and the European Union. So any country which falls in the European Union, they will be able to, the people living in those countries will be able to use the International Mobility Program, provided they get an employer from Canada who wants to hire them. Then the other one is that the people entering into Canada under open work permits. So this is also a mixed situation, because majority of the jobs which you want to come to Canada, they are going to require LMIA, but only certain people are able to apply for an open work permit. The example is somebody whose spouse is actually studying or working in Canada, and they will be able to apply for an open work permit. So if you are eligible for an open work permit and you have an employer who wants to hire you under this International Mobility Program, you're going to get a much faster processing and you will be able to come work in Canada much faster. The last is the people entering into Canada as intra-company transferees. So this is a situation where you are working for a company who have an office in some other country outside Canada, and they have an office in Canada as well, and your company wants to send you to Canada to do the same position, the job you're doing in your home country. In that situation, you will be able to use the intra-company transfer through the International Mobility Program, and you'll be able to come to Canada pretty fast. So lastly, other than the requirements or the people or the countries or the agreements who are going to make you eligible for the intra-company transfer, IRCC looks at the other two major factors when they decide they want to approve your application under this program. The first is that the person who is coming under this program, they must provide broad economic, cultural, or other competitive advantages to Canada. So now breaking it down a little bit, what could be an economic benefit? The example here is that you have a company in, for example, Saudi Arabia, and they are a wonderful company doing great business. They have very good revenues, but they do not have any branch in Canada. Now they have decided they want to open up their business in Canada, expand their business in Canada, and they want to send some employees here who are going to take the responsibility of opening that business here. So those people are going to be eligible to apply under the International Mobility Program. Now for the cultural ones, cultural is again, it's going to be a huge sector. It's not going to be a very pinpoint situation where this person is going to be able to apply or not, unless we see their whole situation. Usually if you are into cultural activities and you are renowned on a global stage and you have won accolades across the globe, many awards, so in those could be the possible people who will be able to apply into this program. For competitive advantage, so if you are working for a company or you own a company which has created or invented something new which is going to help Canada's economy in one way or the other, you're going to come here, open up a business or run a business and generate revenue and create jobs in Canada, you will be eligible under this program. The second main point is that you should be able to provide reciprocal benefits to Canadian citizens and permanent residents. So this is reciprocal, means that back and forth, you're going to provide the knowledge you have to somebody who's working in Canada, and same way somebody who's working here will be able to share knowledge with you. So these are people who are probably working for similar companies in two different stages. For example, if your home company is in Brazil, but you have an office here in Canada as well, but the company in Brazil has invented something they want to use in Canada, and the person in Brazil is coming to Canada to train their counterparts in Canada. So those kind of situations are going to be accepted under the International Mobility Program. So now, listening to all of this, I hope you have a clear idea on who is going to be eligible under the International Mobility Program. First of all, you have to realize that if you are part of the countries which have international trade agreements with Canada, or you are somebody who is coming on intra-company transfer, or you are somebody who is coming on an open work permit, and you are able to provide some economic, cultural, or competitive advantage benefits to Canada. So if you fall under these categories, you're going to be able to apply in this program. If not, and if you are running a business, there are other options for you, which is something called the C11 work permit. If you want to know about that, we will likely be making a new video on that, so that people who are self-employed will be able to benefit from that information as well. If you like the contents of this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other people. We try to make videos which is going to make immigration more transparent to you. And if you are in a situation where you want to come to Canada under either your economic programs, business programs, or family sponsorships, or any other work permits, please reach out to our team. The information is in the description section down below, and we're more than happy to have a look at your file and guide you in the right direction. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe, please.